Yes, there are some elements of stress, but also sometimes, what do they say? Pressure makes diamonds. It's like that. Ciao, y'all, NaturallyKenya here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to get into the topic of reinventing yourself abroad. Whether that be through a glow up, transformation, a new lifestyle, new habits, you name it, this is what the topic is going to be all about today. So if you are new here, my name is Kenya. Yes, like the country. And I am an American girl documenting my life while living abroad in Rome, Italy for the last 7.5+ years. On my channel, you can find tips, tricks to make your stay abroad that much easier. If you are considering transforming your life abroad, or you just want to know how I did it and any tips I would recommend for you, you can find all of that on my channel, as well as some language learning tips sprinkled throughout. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload. So first, let's get into the concept of the glow up and reinventing yourself abroad. So I don't want to have any negative connotation on the word glow up, because for me, in this context of making your life abroad, it really is not just an external journey, it's an internal journey. So I wrote a definition for you guys just to wrap it up nicely. So in the context of expat life, a glow up mindset refers to a transformative and positive approach to personal growth and well-being while navigating the challenges and opportunities of living abroad. It's about evolving into a better version of yourself, not just externally, but also internally. As I said, embracing new experiences, challenges, and doing your best to flourish in a foreign environment. So for me, defining this glow up mindset is more about embracing the change and really highlighting the importance of seeing challenges as a growth opportunity. Yes, there are some elements of stress, but also sometimes, what do they say? Pressure makes diamonds. It's like that. Also believe it's so important to cultivate some positivity and give yourself some grace when you're transitioning like a potential life abroad. There are so many challenges that will be already in the way in terms of bureaucracy, maybe, and documentation, that you really have to just take a deep breath, meditate a bit, and be like, okay, I chose this. It's something for me. It will all work out in the end. Now, that being said, it's not like it is without its challenges. I mean, for me personally, it was needing to not only adapt myself to a more Italian environment, being in Rome, but it's also a bit of the element of me being a minority. So I'm already not blending in, right? And at first, it really used to bother me. I used to feel really like self-conscious about who I was, which is so not me. If you've been here long enough, you know that's not me. But over time and learning the language and integrating into the culture a bit more, I've seen the growth in myself, and I honestly have felt the best I've ever felt living in Italy at this point. And it does take time. It takes a long, long time. I've been here 7.5 years. So it's taken a very long time to feel 100% comfortable in my skin being here. And I still have moments where it kind of hits me like, oh my gosh, did I choose the right thing? Like, you always have moments of doubt sometime when you make decisions. And I think that's really important to kind of reflect on. It's not saying that you made the wrong decision. It's just that you're human, and, it's normal to process your decisions at different moments of your life. So yes, when I first arrived, I did feel like an outsider. I did struggle a bit with being different, but I also found my community that was also a bit different, right? They didn't fit into the normal, let's say, like Italian package, whatever that means, stereotypically Italian package. So it helped me transition my life abroad a bit better, having my connections with those people. But when it comes to the glow up in this particular portion of the video on the outside, you'll have a few elements, and I wanted to talk about that in the video. The first, in terms of, let's call this section the physical transformation, okay? The first being how your personal style may change on your journey abroad. You'll start to realize the personal style of the community you want to move into, and it will probably tailor what you choose to wear and how you choose to present yourself to others. I think it's really important to experiment with like these local fashion influences, because you may find some elements of the different styles that are in fashion that you may find that speak to you. It also will kind of allow you to integrate into the culture culture and your personal identity, let's say, can be found. So I'm definitely a proponent of incorporating a few maybe local fashion elements to help you ease your integration into society. For me personally, I found that a few years ago, I was really reflecting on what I used and what I didn't use in my closet. And I basically donated probably 70 or 80% of what was there because I realized I wanted to come back to the basics, kind of minimize all of the clutter that I had in my closet and go back to very classic, traditional, high quality pieces. So I created my own capsule wardrobe. So as of now, I really don't go shopping that often, honestly speaking, unless I see something like out of the box that I think could be cute to wear. I think about things in more of a long-term sense now than just, hey, this is cute for tonight and I'll probably never wear it again. Additionally, you may find that your fitness and wellness routine shifts. So this is not just about physical fitness, it's also about mental health and wellness practices, especially your self-care routine. I think it's really important to try to find your community, whether that's like in outdoor activities like yoga in the park or joining a local gym. I think it just helps you feel overall your best. And especially in Italy, where there's so much value placed on how you look physically, your physical appearance. And people have no problem telling you if you gain weight, if you've lost weight, they don't care. You really are under a bit more stress, I would say here, in trying to be the best version of yourself. I don't know if that's the positive or I don't know. I struggle with this because I don't know if it's a positive or negative thing. I actually was talking to my colleagues about this one day. I was like, would you want your friends to tell you if you gain weight? And they were like, yeah, I want to tell them before they gain so much. Like, we're friends, we're supposed to say that. I'm just like, oh my God, like people go through things in life, right? So I don't know. That was a struggle for me. That one's honestly a struggle for me to be like, okay, I mean, you should say something, right? But only if they ask, not unsolicited. No? Okay, maybe I have the wrong approach. But I think that that's one element that's very, very different. Here, they like the people do not care about calling you out if you gain weight for sure. Just take a second or two to have a bit more time for your self-care routine when you're transitioning abroad, especially because it allows you to kind of sit in your feelings, reflect, and that's probably the moments where you can give yourself more grace when it comes to glowing up on your whole physical transformation journey, let's say. Oh, and don't forget to sleep. We need to sleep. I mean, it's the most important thing of life. Also, in terms of your internal transformation shift, let's say, it's all in the mindset. I really do think there's a power in your mindset when it comes to transforming personally and overcoming those cultural barriers and being able to integrate into a new society. It's all in your mind. If you think you never will get to the point of speaking Italian, you probably won't. If you think you'll never be able to integrate into a society, you probably won't. So in those moments of negativity, kind of remind yourself, hey, this is just a temporary feeling, a temporary state, and it won't always be this way. I definitely felt like over my life in Italy that I first started off with being very, very disappointed in not being able to understand Italian on the second day. But come on, who can understand Italian on the second day of living here? You know, I used to be so hard on myself, and I'm like thinking back, like I wish I gave myself a bit more grace because now I can speak Italian. Now it makes sense. But the girl back then, I was struggling with not being able to like digest all of the language so quickly. And everybody has their time. Everybody has the timeline that works for them. But the important thing is to just never give up on that timeline. Don't feel discouraged. You'll get there eventually for sure. Which brings me to my next point, this cultural adaptation, which really includes some need to learn the language, being open-minded, embracing the culture, the holidays, the celebrations, consider volunteering or participating in some cultural events, join some organizations, find your tribe, let's say, because I think it's really fun whenever you're abroad. You start meeting people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different experiences, and you have to take advantage of that. I think it's amazing to be able to connect with people from all over the world. In addition, to me, this glow up includes some lifestyle upgrades. This is the moment where you can adopt the healthy habits that maybe have been really difficult for you in your home country, including the nutrition, including the sleep, including this stress management skills, and just to try to maintain your overall well being. You know, that Mediterranean diet in Italy is one of the best in the world. I hope I have added years onto my life by living in this country for sure. I do think if you can, put it into your self care routine, having a therapist when you transition abroad can be very, very helpful to have a few sessions so you are always remaining in a positive space and that you can enjoy your transition to the fullest. And also, while you're there, I think it's really important to set a few goals and expectations along your journey of living in a new country and kind of understanding what that means for your personal development. Like for me in particular, I set a goal to take my Italian B2, which is upper intermediate language test, and C2 exam, which is full proficiency, just to set a goal on the calendar like, hey, let's try to do this, like let's work to this goal. I think it's really important to, set a few dates, timelines, objectives so that you encourage your transition abroad so you make it that much smoother, over time. It doesn't have to be tomorrow where you arrive and you take your test. It's supposed to be something fun and encouraging that you look forward to. It doesn't have to be something that, makes you feel more stressed. Which I say that, but honestly speaking, when I was preparing for my last Italian test, all of a sudden, like I don't necessarily need this certificate for anything in particular in my life, just for the CV/resume. But it's funny how sometimes the things that you do for fun and joy become a stress. And I don't know if it was just because it's full proficiency at that level where I felt so stressed. But yes, it was more stress than, you know, joy, let's say, in that exam room. And another element I think is really important is creating that community on your glow up transformation. That journey is probably the most worthwhile. Building those connections and finding your friends abroad is something unlike anything else because many people are thrown into a foreign environment and many people have to kind of adapt. And as you adapt along the way, you may find yourself making connections with people you never expected. Some of the closest people I have in my life now are the people that I met while I've been abroad. And while you're transitioning, that supportive network can really help you along the way and make you feel like, okay, I made the right decision, and maybe some people share the same sentiments as I do. So it's kind of like a safety net when you're having a bad day. And then also, you may want to network a bit more. Maybe you want to go to some expat events, some expat coffees, language exchanges. I personally found what worked for me was to integrate first with the people that were foreigners, just like me in an environment. And then when I was able to speak the language better, I was able to integrate with the Italians. Now, everybody has a different approach to this. Some people say, hey, go straight for the locals and you can learn the language faster. And I 100% agree with that. But whenever I was first arriving in Italy, it was a different context. It was more in a study context. So the Italians were kind of in their group over there and everybody else was in their group over there. So it was a bit of a division, I'll be completely honest and say that in the class. But yeah, it was an interesting experience nonetheless. And I'm happy to say 7.5 years later, I have my support system away from my family, in the US. Another element that I want to mention in this particular portion of the video is embracing those opportunities for growth. So as I said, from the professional development side of things, maybe you want to take a cooking class to learn, how pasta is made in Italy, or maybe you want to set a date to take an Italian language exam. Maybe you want to pursue a certain career opportunity or, professional development goal while you're abroad. So just see what those profiles entail and then try to adapt yourself and set challenges and objectives for yourself to make sure you are in line with that profile that's requested. And of course, you'll gain valuable skills, insight into what it's like to live in a new culture, work in a new environment, and it can only benefit you in the long term. I always say just continuously learn. It's never too late to learn. I am the queen of a hobby, okay? I am a queen of getting out there and finding things that I like to do that is something interesting that I've had just a slight thought about. There is never any money or time worth spent more than on yourself. The time and money spent on yourself is the best investment. So I know we explored the topic of the glow up and your transformation on your transition abroad, but just remember that this journey is super personal and super unique for you. No two journeys will look the same. Of course, I'm always excited to share my tips and insights along the way, but my journey won't reflect what yours should look like either. Also, I would love to hear about some of your tips in the comment section below, so make sure to leave them for me. I love to hear how people were able to glow up and transform their lives whenever they're trying to go abroad and explore a new horizon, let's say. So if you have some tips, leave them below for other people to also interact with. And I love you guys so much. And I am really appreciative you guys tune in all the time. And I just want to say, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao, y'all.